Alright everybody, thank you for joining me for this stream. Today we'll be figuring out how to transfer your original save file from Origins to Dragon Age 2. You guys thought you were gonna see some actual gameplay, but today you're seeing nothing.
I'm watching,
Holy
oh, they're up there, Mickey.
Oh!
They got hit.
Oh. Oh!
You can try if you want. Now that UAV is so.
Oh, please. No! Oh my god! I get to decide when I die. Nobody gets to tell me when. That had been a thing for quite some time. Oh, well. Wow. Caca! No! No! Bastard! Ah! But we should be fine. I think they can do it. We just have to make sure they don't disarm and they don't die. Don't die! Don't. Oh my god. Wow. Ooh, I'm gonna shoot you in the legs. Oh, whoa, whoa! What the? Juke shoes activated!
We could call it Doom.
Fight my way for it.
Man, how the fuck are you just hiding like a turd?
It's like, whatever.
Come on, fuckers.
Well, that's,
Oven baby.
Oh!
There's more people coming, more triggers! Everybody, run.
Holy fuck. Right here. To the...
Go, Nick! They're A.
Oh, I got no scope. Oh, wow.
Rotating spawn. Come to B.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
You are, but you are not her.
Oh my god. Ah! How's it going, everybody? I am like a mix of excited and exhausted all rolled into one. I hope you are doing better than that, maybe, hopefully. Hello Tia, hello Piggy, hello Viper, hello everybody, and thank you Storm for that auto host there. I hope you're all excited for today, kicking off the event. I'm like a bundle, as I said, of excitement and nerves, and it's just rolled all up into one. I was good. I did some Rive tutorials already today. I'm such a great role model. No, I'm kidding. That remains to be seen as time goes on, honestly. Oh yeah. So, I think as far as like plans go for today, if you guys have been seeing any of my messages on Twitter, I mean, that's great. But if not, the plan is we're going to go over, obviously, the event in some more detail. I've also provided in the Discord some additional helpful documents for all of you to use if you so desire. That being said, feel free to keep them open as we're talking or not. It's completely up to you. And, like I said, we'll go over how to make a spreadsheet for your schedule, a Google Sheet spreadsheet. And if you want to, you can follow along with creating it. Otherwise, you can just watch and learn, and there's a blank version of what I'm doing for you on stream in the Discord. I'll also, if I need to, I can post it in the chat here. But you're fine, Piggy. You're fine. I mean, we'll potentially go over some of the information in the Google Forms as well. But I feel like for the most part, I don't know how much I want to really go over that stuff, like in any huge amount of detail, considering it's already outlined there, and that might be a little bit on the boring side, like recapping that stuff and or just like reading information and regurgitating it to all of you. So yeah, I have a rough guide that I'm gonna follow, but if at any point you're like, yeah, we got it, move on, just let me know, and we'll kind of on the fly change things up if need be. So to start things off, because we might have some new people popping in here, basically this Do a Thing Level Up event is meant to kind of assist people in tackling a project or a goal or something they've wanted to work on for quite some time, but have just kind of been putting it on the back burner. For different reasons, of course. We all have our reasons, and those reasons you don't need to share with anyone. They're for yourself. But the bottom line is that you pick something that you really want to work on for 1 month, and you focus on getting it done. We oftentimes, we'll dream up really big projects or goal ideas, and they're so grand and sometimes really difficult and daunting to tackle that we actually just never get around to doing them. So one of the main purposes of this event is to, welcome back, Piggy, is to basically try and figure out how to break down your project ideas into small, achievable steps that you can complete within a 1 month time frame, as opposed to having this like big grandiose thing that it's just not feasible to get done in that amount of time, and then you're even more stressed, and we don't want to be more stressed, especially with what's going on right now in the world. So by breaking things down into weekly goals and keeping them to like a short turnaround time of 1 month, it's also going to yield that wonderful, thank you for the sparks, that wonderful like dopamine effect, right? Because you're getting something done and you're feeling happy that it's getting done, right? And then you move on to the next task and the next task, and like as you complete more and more tasks, you're just feeling better and better about the work you're producing, most likely, and also about yourself. And then like on top of that, there's like so many layers. It's so meta, it's unreal. But like during this event, you're also most likely going to be learning something new about yourself too, and discovering your own capabilities. Because if you think about it, when you schedule something out, you might be learning an entirely new skill, and that comes with a lot of uncertainties, right? So you're going to find out if, let's say, you've never, I don't know, written a book before, and that's your goal, is to write a book, which is, I'm telling you right now, that's like very ambitious to do for 1 month. I think something like an outline for your book would make more sense, but everyone works differently, and you know yourself best. But the point is, if you do plan something that's a little bit on the ambitious, over-ambitious side, by the end of the month, you'll have a better understanding of what your limits are or what you're capable of doing within a 1 month turnaround time. So it's all good. It's a win-win. And like that's leads me to the next point, where like this project isn't about focusing on the deadline. We don't want to cause anyone further anxiety. The focus is more or less like, yes, you're wanting to tackle this project or this goal or this something that you've wanted to do for some time now, but the main goal, if anything, is to for you to like work on improving yourself as a person. Because at the end of the day, if your project self-combusts or something goes wrong or you have to drop the project due to life reasons and whatever, you still, when you are producing stuff or providing inputs into your project, you still are most likely learning something about yourself. So, yeah. Just trying to think if there's any other examples or anything I could think of. I mean, I feel like that's pretty straightforward and fairly clear. But by the way, if at any moment you guys or gals have any questions, just go like up, 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 put your hand up and be like, ooh, me, I have a question. Um, because and yeah, I'm just trying to think. So yeah, like we're gonna try and help you figure out what you're capable of in 1 month, and everyone's gonna be different. Nutter, how goes it? And I'm gonna do my damnedest, my best to try and help you out throughout the month. I think everyone, I mean, we have a really nice, friendly community here, so this is also very, very much a social event. This is not like go do your project on your own and like work by candlelight in your room all by your lonesome for 30 days straight. No, it's not that. It's very community based. I've set up a Discord channel called DAT Level Up 30-day project chat. I'll probably change the name at some point because it's a little lengthy, but I got boop. It should definitely work. Why is my remote not working? You know what? I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna do this. This is our Discord information for anyone present. And you just hop in there. Be sure to read the rules so you don't break any rules. I don't need to like smack anyone around. And then check out the announcements for information about this event, documents that you can take a peek at that'll help you along your journey. And then, of course, check out the channel that I was just talking about, the DAT Level Up 30-day project chat. And the main purpose of that chat is what you would probably think it is, which is to talk amongst each other about the projects that you're working on and share what you've been working on with everybody else. Of course, if you're not participating in the event, you're more than welcome to have conversations in that chat with everyone and provide feedback or like words of, supportive words, stuff like that. But again, please just follow the Discord rules and be respectful and supportive towards anyone, like everyone in there and their work at all times. Or smackety smack. Exactly, Piggy. So I'm just trying to think. Oh, another really, really important thing. Wherever you're posting your information, whether you're talking about things in the Discord server or you're filling out one of the Google forms I've provided you or whatever it may be, please, 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 please do not post personal information such as your phone numbers, your address, your real name, anything like that. Just don't do it. It's too risky. The internet's a scary place. I don't intend on sharing any of your project details with anyone without your permission, which leads me to another thing where we've talked about having like a little segment at the beginning of the streams where we kind of talk about our projects and how things are going, as well as, at the end of each week doing the same thing, a little more comprehensive one at the beginning of the stream, and then at the end of the event, kind of reviewing our projects and almost like having a little community show and tell event. Obviously, depending on how many people are participating in this event, we might not be able to like go over everybody's work. But the idea is you let me know whether or not you want your work to be shared, and I will try and select as many people as I can to cover during that post-mortem, project event at the end of the month. And yeah, I mean, if you have any feedback, of course, when you're looking at the forums, when you're hearing me talk right now, any feedback at all with regards to this event, please let me know what you think, if you have any suggestions. I'm just thinking now, I guess thank you, VeneerBot. Perfect timing. So I guess one thing you might want to ask yourself, whether or not you have already decided on your projects, is what the heck makes a good one? What makes a good project? And honestly, at this point, any topic is welcome. I, again, be kosher. Like, follow the rules of Discord and Mixer and whatever platform you're participating in. But like, any topic is welcome. So, like, that's health, fitness, education, programming, writing, anything your little heart desires, like, go for it. But the thing I think that'll make a good project good is by you being concrete about what it is that you actually want to achieve and do for your 1 month project. So, in this, I think I'm actually going to switch scenes here. Might as well. Boop. Not that this is like terribly exciting, but this is, the form. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna show you this form yet. We're gonna open this up here. Hi, dragon! Oh my goodness! Wait, why am I not hearing an alert for that? I should totally be hearing an alert for that. What the hell, man? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the embers. Oh my gosh. Good luck with your games. Holy jeez. Thank you. Woo. Now you're gonna win. You're gonna win your next match. I think you're playing Apex, right? Good luck. Damn, that was so nice of him. Wah. Now I'm all super duper fired up. All right, let's get going. No, but I know, right? He's so nice. I'm gonna have to thank him again later. Holy jeez. All right, what was I saying here? Yes. So any topic is welcome. Main points that you can take away from this Google document here, which I might like hop over to again shortly, but main points is you want to be focusing on your inputs and not the outputs, and I'll dive into that in a little more detail later, but basically when you focus on your outputs, it can cause some very unhealthy results for yourself. Whereas if you're focusing on all the things you're doing throughout the course of the month, your perspective is a lot healthier. I'll give you some good examples later, but another key point is you want to work on something that you can actually control. Actually, I will go back to my webcam for a second. You want to work on something that you can actually control. So I think, an example I gave in this Google form over here was, and I'm gonna show you, was basically, don't say to yourself, I'm gonna make a viral YouTube video in a month. You have absolutely no control over whether or not your video is going to go viral. So don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. But what you do have control over is how that you could study what makes certain YouTube videos viral, and that you're going to do that for maybe one video each week, for example. It said hold the cheese. I would never say hold the cheese. Oh my gosh. Web captioners going crazy. Trying to think some other things that I could mention. You want to be focusing on modest goals as well. If you think about it, if your bar is way up here and then you don't succeed, that's kind of soul crushing. But if you have tiny, small, easy to achieve tasks, it's just going to make you feel good. Like I said, that dopamine effect, right? And to help you achieve that, that's where we're going to be talking about using like Google Calendar or using Google Sheets to plan and make sure that your project is running on track. And the other thing to really keep in mind is, again, don't worry if your project gets out of whack or you're falling behind with your schedule, because that's bound to happen, especially in I would say, like the early weeks of your project. Again, you're trying to start something new, and when you're trying to start something new, that's essentially you're trying to form a new habit. That takes time. It takes repetition of actually doing that thing over and over again. So it takes patience, time, and repetition, and self-love and respect. So main takeaway in that regard is be nice to yourself. Your health mentally and physically should be the number one priority, and I know I need to practice what I preach in that regard, which is why that's kind of part of my goal. My project is to take better care of myself because I need to practice what I preach, but yeah, take care of yourself. Um, and yeah, I think we already talked about modest goals. Um, I think if nobody has any questions, we can have some fun learning how to set up a Google Sheet. Woo! Aren't you excited? Um, Basically, what your sheet could potentially end up looking like, this is completely up to you how you want to have things designed, is like this. Boop. With the magic of television. Um, so this is my daily schedule, week one. And I'll show you how to put this together. Like, we won't build the whole thing identical like this because there's a lot of repetitive steps involved in doing this, which you can just do on your own. Or you can just use the blank document that I've already provided. But basically, what I've done here is I have a daily schedule for week one. I'm going to copy this document and have a week two version, week three, week four, and we're good and we're golden. And I've written down my project idea here, which is to teach myself Rive and take better care of myself. My goal output is to complete Rive tutorials every day for a set amount of time. And then I have my time commitments here, which is, why is it not lined up properly? Sorry, I'm super anal like this. Every day after my morning routine, I will work through the Rive Getting Started guide and tutorials for 1 hour. In brackets, 2 hours on non-stream days, starting at 11:30 a.m. Now, that sounds exceedingly specific, and there's a reason why it's so specific. It's because I'm trying to implement intention-based goals that are very, very clear and concise, and that they're also tied to another thing. So it just, you know how, like, for example, you're gonna go get ready for bed, right? Well, maybe your nightly routine is you wash your face, and then right after you wash your face, you brush your teeth. Maybe it's in a different order, whatever. This is just hypothetical. And then after you brush your teeth, you go to bed. So everything is tied to another action, and that's what I'm doing here. So that I will get into the routine. You're in bed. So you're already there, Piggy. Yeah, it'll really help you a lot if you can tie. I mean, obviously, it's not going to work for everyone and what their goals are, but tying your goal or your intention to a specific action or another event or an environment, I think, from my research and what I've experienced personally, I find it does help a lot with you managing to actually tackle that thing. Because it helps you form that habit. That's the thing. You've completed your 30-day challenge. Congrats. You hopped into bed. um, and then, yeah, basically, Google Sheets, it's very powerful. Once you type in your date here, it'll actually automatically, because we're using a template here, and I've just refined it further, it'll automatically update all the dates and days of the week. And all this extra stuff I added more time slots. So you can see, as far as the taking better care of myself, I want to try and be in bed by 12 a.m. every day. And look, I was good last night. Woo! Um, and, well, technically, I probably shouldn't have done. I'm going to probably tack on another day here, so it's like the Wednesday and Thursday. But either way, I digress. I was in bed last night by 12 a.m. Did I fall asleep right at 12 a.m.? No, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Then I did my typical morning routine. I've penciled in, so to speak, some extra things for myself, because this is my calendar. It's for me. And you can do the same for you. You can have as many time slots filled with whatever you want. This is your thing. But I did this for me to help, again, outline very specific tasks that I know I should complete and have a set time to do them. So again, I'm not like going crazy or having some like loosey-goosey schedule. So I did some social media stuff. I did my Rive stuff, my tutorials, and then I set up my stream. And you're probably wondering, what the hell, man? She sets up her stream at 3:30? Yes, I want to start my stream at 3:30. I usually try and do that anyway. Sometimes I do it at 4, but stuff happens. Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes, if you aren't careful with keeping your games up to date, that can be a big problem depending on your internet connection and how big your update is. So I like to start things early. Sometimes, I've even done it earlier than that. Obviously, don't set up your stream if you plan on restarting your computer. Because if you restart your computer, any settings that you've made to, like, not all streaming settings, in case you don't stream, and you're thinking of streaming for your 1 month project, some settings don't carry over. Like, for example, your webcam settings. If you zoom in with your camera, tilt it, or do any customization to your camera, you have to do that every time you fire up your stream, or rather before you fire up your stream. So basically, yeah, I have my set list of things I do in order to set up for my stream, and that's what this is entailing. And then I got my stream, and you know what? It's already streaming time, so I did my stream. And then I've got my nightly routine, which I'm hoping to start at around 10. Now, I got this set up. It looks pretty, it looks nice, it's fine, it's dandy. Is it gonna change? Probably. I may even find after a couple of days of going through this, you know what? My goal, I'd love to be in bed by 12, but I just can't. For whatever reason, I'm not even falling asleep at that time, but I am falling asleep by, let's say, 2 a.m. Gosh, that's terrible, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And so I may change when I want to be in bed, or I'm gonna probably shift things around. And you'll hear about those changes because I'll let you know. But yeah, this is basically my schedule. And this over here is what I've provided all of you. So, same thing, it's just a blank document. You can write your project idea here, write your goal, output. Example I gave here, maybe you want to go to the gym regularly. Probably not, in retrospect, probably not the best example I could give you guys right now, given current world situation, but you get the idea. Don't go to the gym right now. Bad idea. I feel like changing this actually right now. Let's just say work out every day. Let's do that. I don't want to encourage anyone to do something they shouldn't be doing. Work out regularly. Actually, what I'll do, I'm gonna do, yeah, I'll leave it like that. Never mind, we're fine. Okay, work out regularly. Then we got time commitments. Be concrete and plan when you're going to work towards your goal. Example, Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. I didn't mention the goal intention structure here, but I have mentioned it, I believe I've mentioned it elsewhere. So if not, you heard me talk about it here, and so you're good. And yeah, this is another document I put together. It's in the Discord as well, in the announcement section. All of like this stuff, this is in there, and I've also got a helpful resources and links document that I put together. But I'll talk about this in a little bit. So this right here, if you're interested, I'm gonna actually do this. Copy and paste. Probably should have been doing this as we went along to share stuff, but this is, if you're interested, a little document I put together to help you make a Google Sheet calendar from scratch. I still highly recommend that. I like this format because I like checklists. Everybody works differently. That is essentially what this calendar is for. I'm not really going to use it as a calendar. I have another application that I use for that. But this is going to be a really nice visual way for me to see what's working and what's not working very, very quickly. And that's what I like this for. So if you actually wanted to make this from scratch, we are gonna do this, and we're gonna do I actually have it open. Actually, I'm just going to do this. We're going to go Google Drive, not Goggle Drive. And we're going to go here. Google Drive. And I'm going to go New, and we're going to go here to a blank spreadsheet. Boop. Actually, not a blank spreadsheet. I'm a dummy. I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. We're going to go New, Google Sheets, click the arrow from a template because we're using a template. And what we're going to do then is click on this here, which is a schedule. And this is, you're going to see, this is very much to a T, basically, what I have over, over here. Right? Looks pretty similar. I've just made a few adjustments here and there. And so what I did is, I'm going to actually move, where it is? I'm going to move this document over here. So I can, I mean, I went through this document and I think it works, but I kind of every once in a while feel like checking it to make sure that I actually wrote my instructions properly. Let me know too if this doesn't make sense at all or I'm moving a little too fast. But basically, first thing you want to do is you'll want to give this like a title that makes sense. I'm just going to say daily schedule week 1. And if you wanted to say like workout or like going to the gym or something like that. You do whatever you want for your title. And it's kind of getting cut off. So you know what? We're just going to go. If it is getting cut off and that drives you nuts, you can always select a bunch of cells and say merge. And then it won't matter. But that's the basic idea. Then you're going to double click on your date here. And rather than painstakingly going through the calendar and choosing what you want, just do yourself a favor. Because this is like, look at what year this is. You don't want to do that. You want to just say April 02, 2020. And then it automatically changes things for you. And it's beautiful and it's fantastic. Let's say you wanted to add the rows up above so you can write down your project goals and such. All you have to do is either right click on one, like select one of the cells here, right click and then say insert row. Another way you can do that is up top here and just say insert row above or below. Obviously it depends on what cell you've selected and where you want that row and or column to appear. And then it's just a matter of saying, you know, project title. And then you can combine some cells together with merge cell and then type in your project title goes here. And if you're anal like me and you can't stand things being off center like that, again, it's very akin to using other text application programs. So, you know, you would just change the alignment. It's currently set to centered, so you just want to say like left alignment, and we do the same for this. And you can actually select a bunch of cells at the same time by just holding down Shift and clicking on whatever cells you want to influence, and then like, you know, select what you want there. So, okay, that's the general idea. That's how you get these titles going on here, or these headers. In order to do the columns, you would go again, insert, column left. And this is going to hold our statuses. So we're just going to write status. And this status as in, did you complete the task or not? Also, if, let's say, okay, hypothetically, we're gonna... Duck, how's it going? It's been a while. You're alive. I'm so glad. I was worried I hadn't heard from you. I know! Okay, we got it. Hold on. Please work. It's not working! Damn it, my remote's not working. Okay, I may not even have the plugin installed, but either way. We missed you! You came just in time to learn how to make a spreadsheet. He's like, oh man, I'm gone for like a few months and like I come back and you're making spreadsheets. Peace, I'm out. No, this is not this is not my typical streaming content. It's just we're setting things up for our 1 month event. But yeah, so this is oh man, it's still happening. Sorry everybody. We like Deck's been a long time viewer and he's been so busy lately and I'm sure very stressed out with current world events and I just want to take the time to say hello. Um the head banging on the walls is still very much a thing. I've been playing Doom Eternal and let me tell you it's a thing. My head is still surprisingly intact and I don't have any concussions yet. And the good news is I'm going to be finishing Doom today. So um, after Doom though, it's going to be pretty funny because I'm moving right into Resident Evil 3. And honestly, I'm seriously considering checking out the capture card that Undead lent to me, like seeing if it works and getting myself Animal Crossing so I can just relax. Aw, good, good. So yes, as much as I'm so excited and I want to keep chatting up with my chat, and we will. Like, feel free to like interject with whatever your little heart desires as we go along. I'm so happy you're here, Duck. But yes, moving on with the tutorial here. Status. It's gonna hold our checkboxes. And also, oh yeah, now I remember. I was saying if you wanted, let's say you need another time slot. Again, it's as easy as inserting a row or a row above or below. So let's say, let's say whatever it is that we're trying to do, like maybe working out every day or every other day or something like that. We want to do it at we're gonna do it at 7:30. So I'm just gonna select this cell and we want our checkbox here. So I'm gonna go insert checkbox and voila. I wouldn't mind getting Animal Crossing. Yeah. I've never played Animal Crossing before. I've been told I am very similar to Isabelle when I especially when I played Doom. I don't know, but that's just what I've been told. Um there's a new one. There's a new one now for the Switch. So yeah, we got our little checkbox going on. It's magical and so amazing. And we're gonna also I'm just gonna rapidly do this, insert another column to the left, and we're gonna just be lazy. Not really lazy, but efficient. And we're gonna do this status, and then I'm gonna copy this and paste that there. And it's beautiful. Now you could just leave it at that, and you could say, I'm gonna, go to the, no, go and work out. I'll just say workout. And you could call it a day, and you can just repeat this process and copy these things along. If you want further customization, though, it's quite easy. First of all, this is going to drive me nuts. So if you want to shrink down the column size of the status here, these status columns, I just hold down Control click, grab this stuff, and what? It should be altering both of them. I want my money back. Oh, wait, no, I'm a dummy. We just want to do that, that's right, and hold click, select the top here. So it's completely selecting column C and E. And then we're going to just click and drag and it'll adjust both. And you can shrink them down as much as you want. That's good enough for me. And now if you want to customize things with colors, it's pretty simplistic and straightforward. All you would do is right click this cell and oh my gosh guys, are you ready for some super simple programming here? You click on conditional formatting and this little guy pops up here. And it says, so we're applying it right now to C7. See how it already turned green? And we got our formatting style and it says default and we can change this to whatever color that we want. Maybe let's go with something like red, a red-ish color because it's not done. And see how it's not changing though? We're gonna fix that. Let me just see. I just heard a whoosh. So, but hey, how are you? I'm doing good, Doc. Frazzled and tired, but good. It's a little scary, to say the least, about what's going on. I think we're all feeling the same. I've been really thinking about you a lot though, and I'm really, really hoping that you and your family are safe. I was really terrified actually because I know you travel a lot. Not just for work, right? But like I know you have been traveling and I was really worried. But I'm so glad you're okay. Yay. I mean, as far as us though over here, I think it's pretty much the same as like in a lot of countries. It's everyone's supposed to pretty much stay at home as far as like shopping or like for essentials are concerned. Like it's being quite limited to like they say only one person should be going out once a week, but there's no set laws in place as of yet. So, oh shoot, you were stuck in Egypt for a bit. Okay, you were there for business, yeah. 'Cause that's the thing. I haven't been on Instagram that much lately, but I do remember like a little while back that I saw some pictures of you over in Egypt, and I was like, oh man, sick. And then as things started to develop, I'm like, oh no, not sick. That's terrible. Um, so but you're back home now, right? I would assume. Um, let's see this Pharaoh. Yeah, England's in full lockdown. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting. There are talks of Canada kind of going into lockdown. I don't know about like I shouldn't say Canada as a whole, but I think Ontario there's talk about doing it, but I don't know. At this point I feel like better late than never. Like I'm down for locking things down if it's going to make things better. Budapest was the planning for in a week. Yeah, but don't. Oh yeah. Well, I guess yeah because of what's going on, right? Oh man, that really really sucks. Uh, it's not fun at all. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I gotta go. Like I said, I fell behind with keeping up with my Instagram, so I'm gonna have to go back and do some digging because I'd really like to see some of the pictures. It's always nice to see pictures of people having a good time and everything. Did you like it? I know, and now I'm getting sidetracked with this. Okay, we'll keep having these interjections. I do not mind. But I'm gonna finish explaining how to program. It was hot in March. Ooh, how hot is hot? I can only imagine. It's starting to get nice here weather-wise, but kind of sucks that I'm not really able to enjoy it. Ooh, oof. What type of hot? Like how hot we talking about? Um, okay, so now are you ready to have your minds completely and utterly blown here? Okay, so we now have it read when it's, you know, I mean, whether it's active or not, whether it's true or false. That's not what we want though. We want to change the format rules. So format rules, format cells if we want to change it to custom formula is, and we're going to type in here. For some reason, I don't know if this is the case for every format rule within spreadsheets, but my understanding is you started out by saying equal. Oh wait, no, you're really gonna have your mind blown, Piggy. Um, so you're saying you want to format the cell via a custom formula if the custom formula is equal to, and the cell that we're working on is C7. We can also see that here. So if C7 is equal to false, and then we say done. Ooh. And then look at that. When it's not false and true, it's not red anymore. How do you make yours, Duck? And you can actually see it right here. See how it says like right now it's false, and if I turn it on, it's true. I had a feeling you were gonna say it. That's good. I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're working on, and yeah, that's for your purposes, I would agree. Pay someone else to do it for you. You have better things to work on, especially when you're the boss of your own business. You don't need to be doing any spreadsheets. Someone else can do that for you. Um, for the purpose of this, you do have better things to do. But this is about us organizing ourselves for a monthly project. Um, so now we want to make it change a color when it's true. So it's as simple as saying add another rule, and it's to the same cell as we see C7. We want to do the exact same thing. Custom formula is, and then we want to, well, honestly, I will just leave it that green color. And we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to say equals C7, whoops, equals true. And then we say done. And now, wah, it's magic. Ooh, what a strange magic. And it's very nice. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing this for the community. But yeah. And then it's as simple as just copying stuff, pasting, and that's it. And you've got things done and ready and raring to go. And you basically can just repeat that process, choose whatever colors you want, and then you're good. And fill in your information. And yeah, there's even a little notes section, a little to-do section. Use this as you see fit. I'm going to close this because we don't need to look at it anymore. Because with the magic of television, like I said, I've already made you a blank schedule here. I didn't copy the formatting rules throughout every little checkbox. You can do that yourself. But it's all here and ready for you to work on. And that is listed in the announcement section of our Discord again. So, you have to do stuff. I know. You could pay someone to do it for you, though. Like I said, I don't really want to spend too much time going through this Google form here because it's already there for you to look at. And I don't feel like necessarily regurgitating information. Yeah, you want me to make you I'll make you a spreadsheet. I'll just give you that blank one. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So basically, we've talked a lot about, I think if anything, I've talked in more detail about what this event is all about. This kind of is just repeating it again. I'm just going to touch on a few different things with this form. This is my form that I filled out for myself, so you're going to see how I fill this out. So basically, first thing right away, there's two different versions of this form. And again, they're posted in the Discord. One of them, this one in particular, requires your email address. And the only reason why it requires your email address is so that you can actually email your response to yourself. So that's what I did. I wanted to receive an email copy for myself. The forms, I've also enabled them to be edited at any time. So you can always go back and edit things. And basically, it's very self-explanatory. What's your name? Again, for the love of God and all that is holy, do not put your personal information in this form. Do not. Make up a name, an alias if you don't have one. Just don't use any real anything for this. Category, it's pretty self-explanatory. Do your best to express what kind of project what category your project falls into. Yes, Piggy has had very terrible experiences of ODing on sugary treats. Like, he OD'd on, wasn't it Tic Tacs? Yeah, it was totally Tic Tacs. But yeah, and as far as visibility, I already spoke a bit about that. If you have any interest at all in sharing your project publicly, via like a live stream or a video, I always archive my streams on YouTube, so it would exist on YouTube as well. But basically, if you want to have your stuff shown on stream, you would say yes. If you don't, say no. If you're working on your project and it's yes to start and partway through you say no, I will be reviewing said forms and making sure that we don't show your work. And I would say it wouldn't help for you to private message me anyway and let me know that you changed your mind, but I'm going to do my best to do right by all of you. You don't have a name? Oh boy, we got to come up with a name for you then, Piggy. Yeah, I know, he was really going nuts. I think the other time you went nuts because you had way too many Tic Tacs, and then there was like some lemon treat or biscuit or something you had. I don't recall. Or a candy? You'll have to remind me. But Again, project title, pretty self-explanatory. For myself, I wrote down here that I'm going to teach myself Rive and take better care of myself. Again, I'm mentioning Rive. Some of you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. This is Rive right here. I'd rather just show the main page though, instead of exploring this stuff. Except it's now not working. Come on, man. Let's do this. Let's do this. But here we go. Boop. Are you kidding me? Take me to the actual frickin'. I hate this website. I'm kidding. Actually, this is fine. This is Rive. This will be self-explanatory enough for those wondering what the hell Rive is. It's a 2D animation rigging program. So you take your... What's your profan? No! You watch it. Oh, I miss that so much, Duck. By the way, quick sidetrack. Every time I watch my intro, I'm so happy I get to hear that little death scream that you made when we were playing Apex so long ago. Yeah, well, you know what, Viper? Once I started learning how to do this stuff, I would have no problem doing like a little tutorial session. Maybe I can do that at the end of the event if people are interested. But I gotta say, so far the tutorials I went through today were pretty like clear and easy to follow along. I mean, I do have previous animation experience working with this kind of method, but it's pretty cool. It's web-based. It all works in your browser. And yeah, it's like if I open this up, open Anima, you will see how cool this is. That's why I want to learn it. At least I think it's cool. You may not. And if you don't, that's fine. You do you, boo. But yeah, see, it's all... These are handles to, like, control the rig. And it's just very cool. Whee! No, don't do that. Anyway, and the way it works is, like, it's really cool. It's all open source. So when I work on my projects, even though I may want to, like... bury my head in the sand and not have people look at it, they can. So if you guys find my account on here, you can see what projects I'm working on. You won't be able to, unless I, as they call it, fork it, you won't be able to actually have access to my files and edit them in some way. But they're here, and so like this is, I find this very cool, the fact that I can now see exactly how this person went and animated this robot. But moving on. Oh no, that's so not good. I hope you feel better, Duck. That's so painful too. Is it painful? I hate when I lose my voice. Before it was, yeah. Well, I hope you have some like I mean, I know you're saying before it was, so it's probably not so bad now. But definitely, if you've never done it before, warm water, honey, and ginger, so good. So good. I like the taste, but I mean, like, it's so good for a bad throat. Okay, so, again, try and describe your project very briefly. Again, that's to help you be very clear and concise with what it is that you want to do. So I wrote here, I intend to teach myself how to rig and animate 2D characters in Rive for my 1-month project by going through basically like their tutorials on their website and YouTube channel. And I will achieve this goal by also implementing the additional goal of taking better care of myself, like going to sleep at a better time. Oh, warm milk and honey is great too for a sore throat. Yeah. In fact, funny thing is, this is no longer warm, but this is some warm milk, water, and some honey, and some cinnamon. It's good. Start date, end date, very self-explanatory. Choose whatever date you're starting your project on, and choose your end date 30 days after. Next is... I feel like we've covered a lot of this already, so I don't want to spend too much time. Plus, it's already here. But the main takeaways are, before you start planning your week-to-week schedule, or rather what it is you're going to be doing each week, if you're doing something more project-based, right? Like if you're saying, I'm going to work out every day in the morning 3 days a week or whatever. Like there's not, you don't really have to break things down too much in that regard. Like there's not a whole lot of planning involved in that regard. But if you're doing something like, for example, what I was doing, because again, we're looking at my Google form, you're going to want to break things down. And what I mean by break things down is like a lot of people will mention like you should look at the big picture. And while the big picture is really great for understanding what it is as far as like this big thing you want to actually achieve, um, it's oftentimes sometimes way too big for us to even think about. Like I don't even know where to begin, right? Humongous, exactly. And so this is like a little Simpsons gif here of Ralph trying to mash puzzle pieces together. Basically, the metaphor or analogy I came up with was like, imagine if you're working on a puzzle, and in order to see the big picture, you decide to pull out a ladder, and you climb up on the ladder, and then you're looking down at all these pretty little puzzle pieces, and you're like, okay, I can see all the puzzle pieces. I can see the box there with like little kittens and like little fuzzy bunnies and whatever with like little word bubbles being like, "No, you can do it," right? And you're like, "Okay, so I see what the end goal is that I want to achieve." But then you're looking at the floor and you're just like, I don't know what to do because you're so zoomed out and you see these hundreds or thousands of little puzzle pieces all over the place. And I love how I put this. These amazing little puzzle pieces of possibilities and intentions just strewn across the floor, and they're so small and indistinguishable that you don't even know what to do anymore. Um, so what you want to be doing is break things down. You want to break your project down into small, really easy to manage, actionable steps, and write out what they are, and when you'll work on them. There's also the added benefit. We've been talking a bit about habits, forming habits. If you're doing something that's a repeatable task, like for example, I'm trying to do Rive, and learn Rive every single day, it's going to eventually, if I keep doing it day after day, it's going to become a habit. And that's a good thing. So long as it's a good habit that you're doing, that you're working towards. Um, oh, you get it, Duck, don't you even? Also, yeah, Piggy, that would be really cool. Maybe that's something you could do. I noticed your comment about you'd be interested in learning Rive. Maybe, you could be doing a bunch of sketches and drawings, and then you decide to refine one a little bit further, and then I mean, or not, right? Like it's whatever you want to make it, right? And you could teach yourself some Rive too. Uh, no, I think if you smack the ladder on the puzzle pieces, I think you're just gonna make more of a mess. I don't think things, I don't think your objectives are gonna get much clearer. You know what? If it's a puzzle you're working on, Duck, it's gonna be a puzzle with little ducks eating chocolate or something. Because you're a chocolate monster and a duck. Okay, so the other key point is you want to focus on what matters. I mentioned I didn't really dive into this concept very clearly prior to this point. So, um, basically, if you come up with a goal that says that where you're saying I'm going to lose 5 pounds and you only lose 4.5 pounds, you're no longer really focusing on your input and you're focusing primarily on your output. And because you've put all your focus on that end goal of losing 5 pounds, what happens if you only lose 4.5 pounds in a month? Are you a horrible, terrible failure of a human being because you didn't shed a half a pound more? And before you say anything, Duck, because I feel like you'd probably say yes, the answer is no. Uh, oh, you have a whole bunch of chocolate in front of you? Okay, try and ration it. Don't eat it too fast. That's a ridiculous amount of chocolate to have. So yeah, of course you wouldn't be a terrible, horrible person, but many of us, by the way, Duck, I swear to you, I chose this thinking of you, this gif right here. Like, again though, like when you look at the big picture, you kind of lose sight and perspective of things, and as a result, you end up being quite irrational at times and make a bigger deal out of something that shouldn't really be a big deal. Because if you just had the right perspective, you'd realize that you still lost 4.5 pounds. And that's what matters. You made an improvement versus not losing any weight at all or gaining weight. Special little side note here, if you are working out and you're trying to lose weight, and you're trying to lose weight by physical exercise, do remember that muscle weight weighs more than fat. So if you don't see the numbers changing that much, that doesn't mean you're not succeeding. Again, it's about how you feel. And like I said, having a proper perspective on your inputs. Oh, shut up, Duck. Okay, Duck, you're not allowed to talk in no, I'm kidding. I was gonna say you're not allowed to talk in the Discord channel where we're trying to support one another. We'll make a separate channel for you when people want to when people want to have some tough love. That it can be called Duck's Corner. Okay, so again, focus on what matters. So rather than saying something like you're gonna lose 5 pounds, instead say to yourself you're gonna go to the gym or work out 3 times a week and cut out sugar from your diet. Oh, yeah, well, here, I got you. I got you, babe. uh, Another key point that I've mentioned before, so I won't spend too much time, is again, I mean, I mentioned it just even a few minutes ago, is don't have big, ridiculous, vague goals. Also, don't have goals that aren't dependent on, like they're dependent on somebody else. Um, I can't do it right now. But yes, so instead of saying something like I'm gonna go make a viral video, because that's how can you go and make a viral video? You don't control society, you don't necessarily know what trends are gonna propel your video into viral stardom. But what you could do instead is study maybe like a viral video a week and learn kind of what made it viral, editing techniques, so on and so forth, content, and just try and do something like that. But again, don't do anything that's dependent on somebody else. He's had too much chocolate. He can't calm down. And yeah, I won't go into this. If you want a little game analogy, in short, I was using Katamari Damacy as an example, because you're a little character that pushes a little ball around, and the main point for bringing it up is, again, the more you do every day, every little task, every little thing you do counts. So, Duck. Yeah, he's streaming Apex, right? Duck's gonna be like, "Baby, come back." Um, let's see here. So moving on though, we got our milestones. And for myself, I was again very, very clear and concise for my weekly milestones. And so again, I wrote here, after my morning routine, I will work through the Rive Getting Started guide and tutorials for 1 hour, 2 hours on non-streaming days. That might sound very unambitious to some of you, and it's because I did it on purpose. Again, I recognize who I am, what my schedule is like, what life can throw at me at any given time, and I'm being very conservative with what it is I'm scheduling for myself, knowing that there's a really good chance that number's probably going to increase. But at least this way, this seems very manageable and very doable to me. After maybe a few days of doing this, I may increase it, you know. So I'm also going to try my best to promote and showcase your work. So people participating in the event, if you want me to do that sort of thing, again, you have to give me permission to do so. I will not be doing that of my own accord without your permission. And I would do it on social media platforms and like give you a little tag or something like that. But of course, it's your project. You can post it wherever you want, advertise it however you want. It's your thing. This is your baby. It's not mine. And yeah, for myself, I just said after my nightly routine, I'm going to ensure that I'm in bed by 12 a.m. every night. This is probably going to be my biggest struggle, but that's for me to worry about and not you. I also made it a point that I wanted to follow Rive on all social media because I think it's really cool software. I also made a note to myself that when I produce animations, I want to export them and put them on social media. That also includes sharing them in Discord with all of you. Aw, that's so sweet of you, Duck. His eyes are gorgeous. Um, and then I've got just a list of the tutorials I plan on working on for my first week. I've got their application, like their documentation, I should say. Different tutorials. This is a really interesting little article that they have here about if you're trying to learn how to animate, this is a great start. It may be boring, but yeah, trying to animate a ball bouncing is a really good animation exercise. And if you're studying animation, you will be forced to do it at some point. And so it's basically a document. This is like having a heart attack here. But it's a document and tutorial on how to do this. So like Piggy, yeah, if you were interested in learning Rive or Viper, they do have a good enough amount of resources that you could use. And some are text based and some are video based. So I know like for myself, I don't really care. Oh no, I'm talking about Viper. Viper may want to learn Rive as well, he was saying. Yeah. And yeah, this is already some of my notes from the tutorials that I did say so. I said Piggy and Duck. Or not Piggy and Duck, Piggy and Viper might want that they could do those tutorials if they want. Hi, Viper. No, I was just saying they have a lot of tutorials. Rive. You're fine. You're fine. You and I've already talked about different stuff like that. But they have a lot of tutorials and I've got them listed here. And so if anyone's interested, just tell me and I'll share these links with you guys in our helpful resources and links document. But yeah, I won't bore you with all the details of my notes. This is me and what I do. I watch something, I read something, I take notes. And that's basically it. Once you do this, I've planned out a bunch of little tutorials that I want to go through for each week. I think I could potentially get through most of the tutorials in week 1. That's what I'm going for. And week 2, I'm going to be animating some things that you guys actually saw during our kind of like show and tell event, if you will. And I'll just show you again. It is in here. Ew, I don't want to put these in the spreadsheet. Also, chill. How much chocolate did you have? Holy jeez. But yeah, so rather than spending a whole lot of time drawing new content, which I definitely do plan on doing, and you'll see in like other weeks that's something I'm considering, I think what I would probably do is take some work that I've done previously, cut it up, and try and animate it within the project. Because again, the purpose of my goal is not to create beautiful art and then animate it. The purpose of my goal is to learn how to animate and rig within Rive. So this would be a nice way to use my own work and continue actually following that. Yeah. And so I got a list of things that I could animate, and week 3 I have a few tutorials that I've reserved for the purposes of potentially animating some things for my stream. So, this guy here, this little gasp here, I would be considering like animating that, for example, because Mixer Elixir lets you animate things and have basically animated GIFs. So in the very near future, you may see those eyes twinkling and sparkling and animated. What age am I? My age is a secret. You don't ask a girl that. And week 4, I just made a note here. I can't necessarily plan this concrete enough because I don't know what I'm going to achieve in the previous weeks. But I've tentatively stated here that if by like at this point I feel like I should be ready to animate something that is my own creation. And yeah, that's it. Once you do that, there's some information about the event and my stream and our community and our Discord, where other ways you can reach out to me, like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, so on and so forth. But you said what age you Piggy's not a girl. Or is he she? No, I'm kidding. You said girl. Uh fine. See if I care. Um, and yeah, just another little bit of information here. Basically, this is if you have any suggestions or feedback, there's a suggestion box here for you. And so when you're all done, if you're filling out this form where you can send a version to yourself, you just say, send me a copy of my responses, and then say, submit. And then you're good. And that's it. So, I feel like that is probably it when it comes to that. So, I suppose one final thing I'll state when it comes to risks involved with a project is again very much. I'm actually going to go back. I will go back here. Why not? Is if you think about it this way, I'm going to give you two hypothetical situations. And I'm going to smack you, Duck, if you're like, ooh, I picked the one that's obviously the wrong choice. But a hypothetical choice is, okay, so for my project, I want to learn Rive, right? And so I could exclusively focus on learning how to rig and animate with Revive, going through the tutorials, and, by week 2 or 3, I'm so comfortable, and I've gone through all the tutorials, and it feels great because you guys, I blitzed through that content, and I thought it was going to take me an entire month, and now I'm going to have this opportunity to have just a lot of fun applying these newfound techniques to digital paintings that I either have previously made or am making now. And by the end of week 4, it's like, wow, okay, now I have all these animation exercises that I've done. I've also learned how to use Rive, and I've animated something that I was really excited to animate, like my own work. Or the other option, which is obviously the option you don't really want to do, is that you start getting distracted and go for something that provides you an instant gratification, like creating a digital painting. I love painting. It's fun, it's calming, I get to listen to music if I want, and rather than some instructor like prattling on about animation techniques and things like that. But when you do that, you start to water down what your main intention is, and you become unfocused and can be exceedingly stressed out as a result. Because it could end up being week 2 or week 3 and you haven't even touched Rive yet. You might have a pretty painting finished, maybe, but you haven't gained any knowledge with regards to Rive. And so don't do that to yourself. You'll feel very stressed out. And the other key point is when you start to lose your intention, that's called procrastination. I'm not saying that you have to stifle your creative urges, but what you can do is instead truly stand behind what you mean and what you say. So if you say you're going to learn how to animate and Rive, that's what you're going to do. If you say I am going to learn how to animate Rive at 5 p.m. every single day, but this day I want to actually put it off till 6 o'clock, so that I can do a little bit of a digital painting for like an hour. That's okay, so long as you actually follow through with your intention. Because your intentions are absolutely nothing without action. With inaction, you're just left with procrastination, guilt, regret, and sometimes self-loathing, which is really terrible. You don't want to do that to yourself. Mean what you say, or rather, say what you mean and mean what you say, because the only end up person you end up fooling or hurting is more often than not yourself. Right? I know. Isn't self-loathing fantastic? Let's just wrap us up in a nice little blanket of self-loathing so we can hide in our corner and like rock back and forth and just cry. That could be our 1 month project. Um, but no, in all seriousness, like more than anything, the main purpose again of this event, if not the most important thing you could take away, is learning more. Is learning more about yourself, right? You're not going to be working on this 1 month project forever. Maybe you'll work on it longer than a month, which is totally fine, but you're always going to be working on yourself. So, and that's really, at the end of the day, your most important asset. So, yeah, take care of yourself. Also, if you have an issue with procrastination, again, this is listed in our helpful document. Take a look at that video. It's about an hour long. Thankfully not like a 3 hour long lecture, but it's really, really good. Like super good. Um, See you, Piggy. Take care, have a really good sleep, and thanks for coming by. Let me know if you need any help with setting things up. And I'm so glad that you're gonna have some fun doing some drawings and stuff. Yeah, no, it was really cool, Duck. Like for me, it it was enlightening in many different ways because I got to learn stuff. I mean, it made me think about people that I know, but also even myself. I do get it. You'll watch it later because you're procrastinating. But also, hey, if you're being serious and you'll watch it later and you don't, you're a procrastinator. Um, so yeah, basically for this 1 month, or for your first week, bye, Piggy. Uh, Things are going to be changing a lot for you as you're going to be experiencing a lot of turbulence because you're doing something new and different, and that's okay. You're going to be a producer and project manager for yourself, and that also may be like some new territory for you to explore. And yeah, at the end of my first week, I mean throughout the week, I'm going to be reviewing my progress and readjusting things. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I've been accomplishing, and you guys can do the same. And second week is going to be more or less the same thing. And sure, yeah, I guess I do plan on gaming. Yes. Um, and yeah, did anyone have any questions? You already asked your question, Duck. I mean, I'm asking if anyone has any questions or me procrastinate? Nah. Also, just super fast, because I think we are pretty much done here and wrapping up. Um, just super fast. I took some time. I did put together this helpful resource and documents link here. You're fine, Doug. Have some more chocolate. Um, I tried my best to find helpful links and resources based on what some of you mentioned you were going to be working on for your projects. So some of you mentioned you were going to be doing some live streaming and or content creation. So I've listed some helpful resources here like Arsenal GG. Important to note about this one in particular, especially if you're feature called Key Campaigns, which allows you to reach out to various game development companies and producers and essentially make arrangements with them, or at least to have them consider giving you a key to their game, whether it's their finished game, early access, DLC content, or a demo. It's pretty cool. I haven't done it myself yet, but I'm thinking of trying it in the near future. Of course, there's, I'm sure, a lot of things to keep in mind. Depending on your viewership, they may say no. Depending on the content you stream or your personality, they may say no. Um, but it's something that's there and it's interesting. And I know of a few people that have done the key campaigns before and seen results. So, yeah, something for you to look at. I've got some educational resources you can use that are content creation and or stream related. Art programs that I mentioned earlier in the week that I personally use, like Alchemy, and I've used a bit of Blender. This is a little note here for myself. This is a living, breathing document. See it breathing right now? Uh, what I'm going to be doing is adjusting it as time goes on to provide you more information. And like if someone has a program or a link or a resource or something that they found to be particularly helpful, they can pass it on to me and I'll add it here. Um, Got some game development stuff because some of you I know really like gaming and have thought about making games. And I list a few points and tidbits of information about each of them. Twine is really fantastic if you're doing anything that's an interactive narrative. I've used this extensively. If anyone has questions, I can definitely help you with that. We've got that procrastination video here. Down Dog. So these are like, this is like, we're in the health and self-improvement section. So this is a really great, yeah, Twine! Twine's fantastic. It's so good. It's basically, it's very akin to text-based adventure games of old. But you can imagine if you're trying to come up with like this really lengthy, uh, narrative-heavy game, this is a really great way to plan out your at least the narrative portion and see how choices connect with one another, and have people play test it before you go and actually start coding and making some big ridiculous game. Um, Down Dog is a really great yoga app that I use. I've listed some of these here because they're free right now because of the COVID-19 thing. I mean, Down Dog is free anyway, but as far as like the pro features and stuff like that, they've now made that free until May 1st. Headspace, I don't know if they're continuing their free service like into May as well. I know they were doing it for March, and I believe they continued it through April. I haven't had a chance to look, but I've provided the site there for you guys. Organization and productivity, I've got the 2 Google Docs that I made for you all. I've listed Google Calendar here because, as I said, I think the Google Sheet schedule is great for keeping track of your progress, but using something like Google Calendar will help give you reminders to actually do said tasks. It all depends on what works best for you, right? I mean, Trello's another great tool that uses the Kanban style of project planning, which is basically you have, I mean, the easiest way to just show you would be to do, boop. I don't know why it didn't just take me there, but here we go. This. So it's basically you have a board, you have a list, different lists, like to-dos, doing, and done. You have your cards, and you move each thing into its appropriate category as you're working on things. And then ClickUp is actually what I'm using. I've been using it for like a month or 2 now, and it does pretty much everything you could ever ask for, and it's completely free. I really like it. I won't bore you with all the details because I've outlined things, I think, pretty thoroughly here, but if you have any questions on how to use any of these things, if I say I've used them before, let me know and I'd be more than happy to help. But yarp. I think if nobody has any questions, then I think we're good to go. I mean, another thing too, does everyone feel okay and comfortable? Like if you're with their projects that they want to work on? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes? Is that your question? Yes? That's an excellent question, Duck. My answer's yes. I hope that helps. Do you feel comfortable? Yeah? Do you feel comfortable surrounded by your family and chocolates and your kitty cat? You feel what's your project? Consuming 1 kilogram of chocolate over the course of a month. Is that your project? I'm gonna move this mug over here. Let me think. yeah, I mean, the main purpose of this event, if you like, I know it may have sounded very studious and detail oriented, this little mini presentation, but it's meant to be fun. I mean, we're going through like some really crummy times right now with COVID-19, among other life things that we're dealing with. And this is about having fun, tackling something you really are passionate about. Maybe you're not really super passionate about. Maybe it's like you just want to clean out your garage for a month. For like that's your goal. You're gonna each week work on cleaning out your garage. And that's fine. Your garage will be clean and you'll feel great that your garage is clean and you can store other things in it. Um, the project you should start in 40 minutes. It will be to write a book. Ooh, better grammar than was used in my previous comment. Well, yeah, ConnieCon, feel free to use some of the resources I provided. I would say, um, if you're thinking of are you thinking of writing a book in 1 month, or are you thinking, I mean, my one, if I had one piece of caution for you is if you're planning on writing a book in 1 month, um, just really sit down and kind of ask yourself some important questions like what your actual writing output is. Like if you've never done anything like that before, obviously don't I would not I would advise against saying that you're okay accomplishing 3 chapters. Okay, that's good. So, yeah, one suggestion I would have at least. Yeah. No, that seems good. That seems good. Um when you're looking at using some of the resources I gave you, whether it's the spreadsheet or whatever, or maybe you just want to organize things on paper, that's totally fine too. Do whatever works best for you. But what I would suggest is maybe during your first week, focus on coming up with an outline for the chapters, maybe even all the chapters of your book, because you may find that in doing so, some chapters, I don't know what kind of book you're making, right? But you might find that some chapters are similar and they can just be conflated into one or consolidated into one. So I think doing an outline in your first week would be really good. And I mean, you might finish that very quickly, right? So like an outline with some rough points about what you're going to talk about in each chapter. And then once you're done that, start tackling that first chapter. And then like it'll still be a good idea to plan out tentatively what you think you're going to do for your week 1 milestones, week 2, week 3, that sort of thing. But definitely try and figure out your week 1 and go from there. And don't be too ambitious. Like, I think another way you could frame things too, if you want to be extra safe, because like writing we could look at like writing 3 chapters as being your ultimate goal for the month, right? But if you wanted to break it down in an even safer manner, if you will, is maybe you want to say, I'm going to write every day for 2 hours or something, right? Or maybe you really know what you're capable of putting out writing wise. So you say instead, I'm going to write 2,000 words a day, or 4 or 5, whatever, or maybe like 10,000 words a week. I think that's kind of a lot. It depends on who you are. I write a lot, and it's very easy for me to write a lot. So I'd have no problem probably doing something like that. But yeah, just be realistic with your goals and think about uh, having them in such a way that they are achievable. So either like tying your goal to a time limit or a time frame, like working on things for X amount of time, or saying I'm gonna try and produce 5,000 words a week. Because again, if you say like saying that you're going to accomplish 3 chapters in a month, it's a little, it could potentially run the risk of being a little more output oriented as opposed to input oriented. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If you do something like 5, let's say even like 5,000 words a week, um, you would say 5,000 words a week, and then and in order to do that, you don't want to just say I'm gonna write 5,000 words a week and then like fold your hands and be like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. No, you want to say you want to be really specific again and be like, okay, in your in this where is this guy right here? Not that one. this document here. Not that one. Wow, where did my documents go? They've disappeared. Here we go. This is what I want. And I'm gonna switch super fast here. So like you would say, your project idea is to write 3 chapters, right? Which is great. And then your goal output, you could say, I'm gonna be doing that by writing 5,000 words a week. And then your time commitment is, I'm going to achieve doing this by writing for 2 hours or whatever, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? And then obviously as you go throughout the week, you may discover you can produce way more than 5,000 words in a week. And so you can make adjustments, or maybe you find that 5,000 words is too much, and so you make adjustments in that regard. But yeah, I think being really clear and concise with what it is you're trying to achieve will just kind of better prepare you for what's to come and be a far healthier experience. So yeah, going back to the webcam. But that was a really good question. Thank you, KanyeCon. If you have any more, feel free to ask. And Duck, your project is going to be to single-handedly get rid of COVID-19. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. And then we can... Oh, man. Then we could celebrate Duck. You could have a statue. Just a perfectly weird duck statue. In every country, in every city, we could celebrate your perfectly weird duckness. I don't know why it said darkness, but that's also kind of funny. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah, no. How is everybody doing, by the way, Duck? Like, is your girlfriend okay? Perfectly weird duck day! Oh my gosh, that would be sick. What would we do on Perfectly Weird Duck Day, though? I mean, obviously we'd be celebrating your greatness for single-handedly getting rid of COVID-19. But would it, like, I imagine it would involve spending time with lots of cute little ducks and eating copious amounts of chocolate. And maybe baking some bread, because you're good at doing that. I don't know. Boat racing. I have no idea. Little like little boat racing competitions. There we go. And there can be little ducks riding the boats. Just make it another just make it another Valentine's. Yeah. So it's going to be way better than Valentine's because it's going to involve ducks. And ducks are cute. Yeah. Well, if nobody has any other questions, then I think... Let me just see... I'm just checking here. I think it's safe for me to change my title information. And we're gonna say... I'm just updating my title info. Quack! How's it going? Storm, how are you feeling? I saw your Twitter post earlier. Let me see. PC Nightmare. And there. Okay, I stupidly didn't update my game name, which is Doom Eternal. We are gonna finish this game today, and I'm super excited. I hope, I'm just gonna double check that my channel information updated. Yeah, okay, it did. Sweet. Perfect. It's woof, thank you. Yeah, that's true. Even though he's a duck, he doesn't quack. He goes woof. Woof woof. How is Apex Legends, by the way? Beep beep, you're a sheep. Wait, didn't I see something too on Twitter about gold Mozambiques, or was that just April Fools? That might have been old. I didn't get to see the date for that. Tell me, Storm, was it a thing, or was that an April Fool's joke? I didn't play, but I'm asking you. Yeah, okay, but see, you still didn't answer my question as to whether or not it was an April Fool's thing. That would be insane though. The gold Mozambique with 9 shots. I'd like that. When I saw it, but I didn't get to really read it and see the date that it was posted, and my Twitter feed did that stupid jump up thing. So, okay, let me go to Steam. No, I do not want to do a survey, Steam. I would not like to do a survey. Ah, is it? Man, now you know what, Storm? I'd like to trust you, but I don't know if I can. And now he's gonna be like, "Wow, wow." I'm half tempted to go look it up. There's no harm in me going, "Okay, I believe you." But I just know there's some skepticism there where I'm not 100% sure. You trickster. Let me fire up Doom.